What's up, everybody? I am Brandon, and we got a buttload of virtual reality news to talk about today. Last night, Sony had their CES 2022 conference, or showcase, whatever you want to call it. And while there wasn't really much to go on here, especially as far as games go, they did drop a lot of new news about PlayStation VR 2 and even a new Horizon title coming to PSVR 2. So we're going to go through all that PlayStation news and more on another episode of Game Corner. Really quick, if you guys like what I do, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and I'll stop wasting your time. So like I said, just last night, Sony had their 2022 CES conference or showcase. Obviously, Sony is a bigger company than just their PlayStation division, so they showed off like new cameras, and they're even working on like an electric car. But there was about 10-ish minutes in there that we got just for PlayStation stuff, and the big news that came out of that was that they finally announced the PSVR 2. If you guys remember, we actually have seen quite a few patents coming out of Sony. They do this pretty often, but a little while ago we saw some that actually equated straight to a PSVR 2 release, and it looks like all those are finally coming to fruition with this headset and these new Sense controllers. I was thinking this is kind of an odd place to show this. I don't remember exactly where they showed the first PSVR off, but I could have swore that they had kind of like their own little PlayStation online direct sort of situation. And to be fair, this is just an announcement, so it's pretty bare bones. They just pretty much told us that it's a real thing and these are the features that's going to be, added, kind of just to start getting people salivating and getting excited about having a new headset. So I definitely would expect an actual like state of play to come with more information around the headset, with like what it's going to look like and what the controllers are going to look like, and maybe even some software that'll be coming with the headset. I thought for about a split second there they were going to actually show us the headset, because they cut away to like a PlayStation show card or whatever, and then immediately don't show anything and cut back to Jim Ryan, which was kind of a bummer. But I can only imagine it's a matter of time at this point until we start seeing what this thing's actually going to look like. Anyway, the really big features that they're going to be adding to this new headset are things like eye tracking. It sounds like they're going to be adding some sort of headset feedback. I imagine that's going to be done with haptics like they have in their DualSense controller. 4K HDR, foveated rendering, and 110 degree field of view. These are all really welcome changes, and it sounds like this thing might be one of the better headsets on the market when it comes out. Does make me question the price point a little bit, because I imagine they're going to want to sell this at a reasonable price like they did with the first VR headset. And having two 4K HDR displays in there already makes me think that it's not going to be cheap. The foveated rendering is actually pretty cool though. This is kind of a newer thing in the VR space. It basically uses the eye tracking in the headset to find where your peripheral vision is and reduces the resolution in those fields of your vision, kind of making it so that the most detailed part of the image is right in front of your face. Sort of like how you see normally. And then that 110 degrees field of view is a big deal. I was a pretty big early adopter to VR. I got to play with all of the original headsets when they were first coming out, and that was one of my biggest issues with those back in the day, is that you had this really direct line of sight. You almost didn't really get to see what was on the side of you at all, and more than anything, it just made it feel weird because you're used to having that in your vision. So these are all really welcome features, and on top of that, it sounds like they're going to be doing a single cable setup, so it's just going to be one cable from the back of the headset into the PS5, sounds like. I would keep in mind that this is probably not going to be on the PS4 either. I imagine that it's going to have to run on a PS5 to get those 4K screens to be working properly, and just the resources that it's going to take to run this thing in general. Obviously, you're going to need a PS5 for that. As I was sifting through Twitter this morning, I did see that Jeff Grubb mentioned that he would like to see it be able to be used on like a PC or even kind of side-loading games if you'd like to. I think that's a great idea, especially if they're really trying to get this in the hands of people who are interested in VR. It just makes sense to go to the PC crowd and be like, hey, we have a really nice headset and you don't necessarily need a PS5, you could plug it in your PC. I highly doubt that's going to end up being the case. While Sony has been getting more comfortable with putting their games over on PC, I can only imagine that they want this to be an attachment sort of thing, like you get a PS5 and then buy a headset on top of that. That's $1,000 out the door right there. I could see them, however, maybe like down the line adding this feature like, hey, now you can throw your headset onto the PC and it's super simplistic. You don't get any of the extra features, but you can play Half-Life Alyx or whatever. Last but not least, they gave us a very small teaser trailer for Horizon, Call of the Mountain. Like I said, they really give us little to no information other than that it's a PSVR 2 game and that it's set in the world of Horizon. Looks like it's being developed by Guerilla and Firebite games, but other than that, the only thing that we really know is that there's gonna be long necks. But yeah, unfortunately, really not much to go on here. We're gonna have to wait to see more from this. If I were to take a guess, I would imagine that's gonna be a lot more of like an on-rails shooter sort of situation. Any PSVR title that starts with a name of a game you know and then a huge subtitle automatically makes me think that it's not gonna be a normal experience. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's about all the news I have for you guys today on the Sony CES 2022. Like I said, not much to go through here, but they did announce that PSVR2 and Horizon Call of the Wild, Call of the Mountain, my bad. What do you guys think? Do you have any interest in VR still? It seems like we haven't really kind of come around full circle on that quite yet. Does anyone even own any headsets? And what is your favorite game to play? I'm really super separated from that space, so I'd love to hear more from you guys. Anyway, I'm Brandon. This was the Game Corner episode on Sony CES 2022. Thanks for watching, and have a kick-ass week.